Mahomes looks to throw it. Pump faking, right side. He wants it. A comeback cut. It is caught by Kelsey. Touchdown, Kansas City. The game is over. The Kansas City Chiefs are champions. How about those Chiefs?
Welcome to another episode of the Kingdom Corner here with Andrew and Dale. We are previewing the game coming up this Sunday night against the Jets in MetLife Stadium. So, Dale, how do you feel about this matchup?
Man, I feel a lot better knowing that number 8's on the bench. Not on the bench, but, just had Achilles recovery or surgery. And so hopefully he gets back and he comes back and he plays. But, so it's a lot different team than we thought we were facing in the beginning of the season when we were making our picks with all that. So it should be an interesting game.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So, man, there's a lot going on with the Jets, and, man, even more this week, more turmoil in the locker room, kind of similar to the Bears, but not quite to that extent yet. I mean, they're basically rumors coming out of there that the defense is basically, throwing their hands up saying, unless you get a new quarterback in here, what's the point of us even playing?
Right.
That's big news if that's true.
Yeah, they bring up a good point.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, Zach Wilson is, he's not the guy that they thought they were drafting. That's for sure.
No. So.
Yeah, so we got the Jets this Sunday night coming in. And so here's some of the stats coming in. And, like we've said the past few episodes, we'll say it again, is these numbers are going to fluctuate a lot the first month or so as we get more games under our belt. Once you kind of get about halfway into the season, these numbers will kind of solidify a little bit more, and we won't see as many jumps, but we will be seeing a lot of this for the next couple of weeks still. So coming into the Sunday night game against the Jets, the Chiefs offense is 5th in the league, and they're fifth in passing, 10th in rushing, and 9th in scoring, averaging 26 points a game. And so they'll be going up against a Jets defense, which is 20th in the league, and 16th in passing, 23rd in rushing. So those are bottom half numbers, but I kind of was saying to you before, though, I think that defense is much better than some of these numbers might say that they are.
Yeah. And I think I know you pointed out when we were on the phone earlier, was the fact that the defense has been on the field a lot more. Yeah. And so when you're on the field a lot more, it does take those statistics run up. Those yards add up real quick. And so I think them being on the field and playing a lot more snaps hurts their defense.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And when you have a offense that's you might use the word incompetent,
that works.
Or choose whichever word you so please, but an offense is struggling, if nothing else.
Yeah,
and you have an offense that's struggling. Your defense is just going to be forced to play more snaps, and so they're playing almost 40 snaps more already than the Chiefs' defense has this season. So an average game is somewhere between 50, 60. A really, really high play game, you might have 70, but that's extremely high. Most are going to be somewhere around 50 to 60, and so when you have almost 40 snaps more, you're getting close to an entire game more than your opponents even. So that's huge. But the flip side of that, here's the Jets offense and why we're talking about how you might say that they are struggling, if nothing else. So the Jets offense is last in the league, number 32. They're last in passing. They're 22nd in rushing, so a little bit better there, but not great. And in scoring, they're last in the league as well. So overall, last in passing, last in scoring.
Man,
those are not good combinations for any offense. And so that's why the Jets defense is kind of leaking some of these things out, if true, about, what are we doing here? If Zach Wilson's our quarterback, they don't have faith in him. That is for sure.
Yeah, and I know that they're averaging 133 yards passing.
Yeah.
And that is crazy. That's like a half for Mahomes.
Real low. Yeah, real low.
So, or a quarter maybe sometimes, real low. And so I think that's really hurting them quite a bit. And then to average only 14 points a game is just, again, that's tough to win.
Yes.
When your offense is only giving you 14, I mean, you got to go 13 or under if you're the defense. And so, my goodness.
And if you do that, you're probably going to be the number one defense in the league if you hold the opponents to 14 or less points for the season. So that's not a winning combination at all. And so I would say they're going to be going against the Chiefs defense, who's 6th overall, so much better than most people expected. They're moving on up the charts, because last week we said that they were 13th. So, like I said, these numbers are going to change a lot. So right now they're 6th overall. They're 6th in passing, and they're 11th in rushing. So they're starting to hold their own here.
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest component to the defense being so much better?
I think most of it is that these players are now have a little bit more experience in it. As most of our players, you mentioned in our last podcast that the Chiefs have the youngest defense in the league, right? And so, and a lot of these guys were rookies last year, and so now they got a year under their belt. People like Jalen Watson and George Karlaftis. These guys who were rookies last year are making huge plays for us now, and even Trent McDuffie, right? Just rookies that were on the team last year, but maybe struggled the first few games to figure out the system. And as we've talked before, Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator for the Chiefs.
My favorite coach.
I know. Yeah. He's your favorite coach when they win the Super Bowl, and the other weeks you're clamoring for him to be moving on. So
yeah.
But we're not holding anybody accountable here, apparently.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but it's well known that he has a very complicated defense, and so most years it takes teams or his team several weeks just to figure out what's going on, all the moving parts, and even people like Justin Reed, right? Last year is his first year too, even though he's a veteran, but first year learning a Spagnuolo defense, and so he even put out a tweet before the season started. Justin Reed did, and it said something like, "This defense can be scary good."
Oh,
right?
wow.
And so it was almost a prediction of what was going to happen. He kind of retweeted it recently and just kind of said, "Hey, I told you so."
Yeah.
So it was big that he kind of said that and that it came true. So I think that's the biggest difference between last year and this year, is that a lot of these guys are starting to understand the defense that they're called and told to play.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think it's that, and then with that knowledge and that background of the defense, I think they're quicker, right? Their decision making is a lot faster, and so I think that's where you're seeing the speed on the field. Is like they know what they're supposed to be doing, they know what they're looking for. They're well coached and well prepared for the game day, and so I think their speed is something you just notice on the field when you're watching the game.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, here's his exact tweet that he tweeted out at the very beginning of August, on August 1st. He says, "Defense has a real chance to be really special this year. Got to keep earning it every day."
Okay.
So then he retweeted it just last week or so and just said it before, and I'm saying it again, have a real chance to be really special this year. We'll have another opportunity to prove that this next week. And so, they're keeping their head down and grinding, and that makes a huge difference.
Well, Chris Jones has promised that he was going to be Defensive Player of the Year.
He has. We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm not saying he won't be. I hope he is.
I just heard a little doubt in your voice. A little doubt is
there is a little bit. There is a little bit of doubt. Yeah. So I mean,
missing a game doesn't help you, does it?
It does not. I mean, you can say you don't have to be there for training camp, but it makes a difference. It might have not made much of a difference in that first game back that he had, against the Jaguars. He was electric and all over the field that game.
Yeah.
But, I'm not saying he didn't have an impact against the Bears. I think he still had a sack that game too, but he didn't have quite as dominant of a performance, I didn't feel like, against the Bears as he did against the Jaguars.
Right. So, but he got what, one sack with the Bears?
I believe so.
Yeah, one sack, and then 1.5 with the against the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
Averaging a sack a game, not bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, we'll see what happens, right? So we're talking about two teams here that are struggling out of the gate, right? The Jaguars just got beat by 20 by the Houston Texans with their rookie quarterback.
No one thought that was going to be the case. The Jaguars.
Yeah,
no one thought they were going to. No one thought that. So who knows?
No one also thought that the Bears would start out 0-3. So
no, that's true. Well, I think that's
my point, though, is that these 2 games that he's played in so far is against teams that have struggled coming out of the gate, and so teams that we expected to be better who are not. And I'm not taking anything away from him or his stats. Right. I'm just saying I want to see it continue. Is all I'm trying to get out here.
I think you bring up a great point here. Is to remember, folks, they don't hand out the Lombardi in September. So these Miami Dolphin fans, let's just pump the brakes. It's a long season. We're 3 down, 14 more games. Yeah, 14 more games to go. We got a long season. Let's just, the Miami looks scary. I would not want to go against Miami. If we were playing Miami, I'd be scared, right? But Andy Reid's team just gets better and better as the games go on, and so we'll see what Miami does.
Yeah. So
anyway, that's just a rant. That's just my side.
Yeah. So here's another question for you then, since you brought it up. Who is, in your opinion, who are the best teams in the NFL right now? You can give me top 2, top 3, whatever you think are the best teams.
Yeah, I think there's probably there's probably 4, right?
That's what I have too. I have 4 top teams right now.
All right.
We might have the same ones.
Miami, Kansas City, San Francisco, Eagles.
Yeah, that's the same 4 I got. In no particular order, but
no particular order. I think any of those teams, I think it's a flip of a coin, right? Yeah. It's a flip of a coin. Who's going to win? Because they're all super talented. Right. And so.
And even so, too, right now, we're still trying to figure out who really is good. And as you said before, who's false gold, right? Yeah. So who's that fool's gold? Just like last year, there were teams that were, like the Vikings that you called out from the beginning were fool's gold, right? Somebody might have called out that the Cowboys were fool's gold last week before they lost. Somebody might have done that on this podcast even.
Right. I think I think the Cowboys are there in the fringe, right? They are. They are. They're number 5, number 6, somewhere around there.
Right. And the other side is too, good teams can still lose a game in a season. Even to a poor team. The Chiefs lost last year to the Colts, let's remember, and went on to win the Super Bowl. Right. So even great teams can lose to bad teams because, like we've said before,
we lost to the Bills too last year. I'm just joking.
Something like that. But,
you were saying bad teams. I was just trying to continue. Right, Bills.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
These bad teams out here, but So we got lots of season left. Any team can beat any team if you're not ready, though. I mean, that is the thing, and that's also the thing we've discussed before. And I still hold to the notion that that the salary cap is an important part of the NFL because it keeps teams equal and even and competitive. Otherwise you get to the place where you're like college, where you have a few elite teams who are going to compete every year, and then every other team they play, they're just going to blow out. Right. And they don't even necessarily have to show up or even put their starters in to win those games. Yeah. So we don't want the NFL to get to that point. That's what makes the NFL so intriguing, is that you actually have to show up every week to win those games. If you overlook anybody, they're going to beat you. The Cardinals, who are supposedly tanking, beat the Cowboys.
Yeah. Right. And that's exactly what could happen this weekend, right? Sunday Night Football is 7:20 p.m. on NBC. The Chiefs overlook the Jets. We could very well lose that game.
Yeah. So not to get too far into this either, but, Taylor Swift is a huge part of the Chiefs talk right now, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Whether you want her to be or not, she is, right? And so she showed up last week. It was well covered, on the news and on X or Twitter and all these other places. So much so that on Tuesday of this week, StubHub said that they had more Chiefs ticket sales that one day than all the other days combined so far. Right. Taylor Swift effect. right?
There
And
you
so
go.
she said she's coming to the Sunday night game, supposedly, right?
She is already.
Yeah, there are rumors floating around that she will be at MetLife Stadium in New York to watch the Chiefs game.
How serious is this relationship?
Hey, I don't know. So there was a leaked photo, and I don't want to get too much into it because but there was a leaked photo with Travis Kelce and her at some party or something, and it wasn't an inappropriate photo or anything like that, but it's just they were together, right?
Yeah.
And it supposedly is at a private event, so somebody took a photo in a place they weren't supposed to.
Oh, man.
And so that's also why I don't want to get into it too much as well, because I also think that these people deserve their privacy, right? They're still people, so we don't want to harp or give too much attention to things that they deserve to have their private lives. And so
right. Well,
all that just say, they were together. It was well documented they left the stadium together after the previous game, and now she's coming to this next game. So it brings me to this question: is or could Taylor Swift be a distraction for this team?
Not for Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes, I don't think. I think they're good enough. They've been around. Now, if he was like some 22-year-old or 23-year-old, then yes, I think it'd be a distraction. But he's, a veteran. He knows, like, I got to prepare. I got to get ready. He knows what's on the line. I think he has the same mindset as Mahomes. Like, let's win championships, because if you turn on your TV and watch any TV, Travis Kelce has been on every commercial, it seems like.
Yeah. So, him or Mahomes, one of the two.
Yeah, one of them is on the commercial. So I think it's I wonder how much the person got paid that took the photo, and send it in to TMZ or whoever paid for it. And then also I saw that Travis Kelce's jersey sales went up 400%.
I saw that. Yeah.
That is
Isn't
unreal.
that crazy?
I mean, you're just talking about the Taylor Swift effect. And so, like, all these Swifties are buying Travis Kelce's jersey. And then, so I hate to say I hope they don't break up. I hope they stay happily together forever. But there'll be a lot of burning of the Travis Kelce jersey. So.
If nothing else, we don't want them to break up right before or during a playoff run.
That's right.
That would be the worst time, because not that we think Travis Kelce would actually. You know what? I don't think it would distract him. It might give him fire in his.
Give him a chip. Stack it up on the shoulder.
Yeah. So you know what? I got this. So
yeah.
But so it'll be. I don't think it's going to be a distraction either. I think if anything, Travis Kelce had his best game of the year so far last week. And in fairness, he was coming off an injury in his first game he played this season because he missed the first game. But he did have his best game so far this season. Maybe he just wanted to show out a little bit, whatever it is. But that guy's a gamer either way. So I think,
and he looked better than he did against Jacksonville, right? I mean, just moving wise and everything like that. It just looked like the old Travis Kelce. So
So
New York Jets, tell me.
So is Travis Kelce back? Is he ready?
Oh yeah, he's I listened to their podcast, New Heights, and he goes, the knee's not even, we're not even talking about it anymore. So let's move on. I think he's healthy. If he's not worried about it, if the trainers aren't worried about it, I don't think Andy Reid is in any of the press conferences talked about Travis Kelce limitations or anything like that. So he's back, no excuses.
Yeah. So how many good years does Travis Kelce have left in him? Like, not just good years, elite years.
Including this year?
Yes, including this year.
I'd give him 3.
All right. So he's 33 right now.
Yeah.
So he's got 3 more seasons, including this one, that he's going to be elite, you say?
Yeah, elite, yeah.
All right. I'd say at least 2. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd quite go 3 yet, but I'd say he's got at least 2, including this one.
Yeah. I think that third year he will like take his spots. Yeah. And then it'll just be like one of those things where like, oh, Travis Kelce had 12 touchdowns. When did he have, like one of those things where like, how did he get in the end zone? When he didn't, I think it'll be like
he's only on the field 40% of the snaps. How did he get 12?
Yeah. And so it'll be one of those deals where like, he's still putting up big numbers, but he's as long as he's upright, I think he's going to be on the field.
Yeah. All right, so brings us to our game Sunday night against the Jets now. So what is our matchup we need to be looking for in this? What are you going to be watching?
Yeah, I'm going to be watching Sauce Gardner and
Yes.
to see where in the defense. I mean, I think that's the big story. Like, are they going to be able to slow down the Kansas City Chiefs? Is Sauce going to guard Travis Kelce? Right. And those, and like in big, not like throughout the game, but I mean, like just in big moments. So third down, is Sauce going to try to go? I mean, what are you going to try to do? I mean,
zones.
Yeah. And so I think, just different things like that. And I think that's the big thing to watch is how our offense responds to this. I mean, it is a fast, hard hitting defense. And so Bob Sala, he's got those boys humming and moving around, but he met this. Having Zach Wilson play may cost him his job.
Yeah, it very well might. You're not wrong about that. Even though, well, I'm not going to say he probably didn't have anything to do with it, but the GMs are the ones who really bring those guys in. But, the coaches take more of that than the GMs do a lot of times, right or wrong. So, and I think the other thing to watch too is the Chiefs' offense. Is it going to be the one we saw last week? Or is it going to be the one that we saw the first 2 weeks that kind of struggled a little bit?
Right? Yeah.
And so, in my mind, it looks like all those receivers and even those rookie receivers and second-year receivers, they're starting to kind of figure out their role a little bit. So they're playing a little bit better. Right. So I think they're going to continue to project upward. But that is still something to keep in mind is, they had a great game against the Bears defense, which is one of the worst in the league. Can they replicate that against the Jets defense, who's one of the best in the league, despite what their numbers say?
What did you say our rushing was this year?
Our Chiefs rushing, we're 10th in the league, so we're averaging 114 yards a game right now.
Okay, we go over under that against this game.
I think we're going to go over simply because I think we're going to be ahead at the end and they're going to run the ball. And so I don't know that we're going to be over going into the fourth quarter, but by the time the game ends, we'll be over that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think Mahomes is too good. He's going to find the weakness in the man, and then he's going to find. And Travis Kelce is finding the holes in the zone.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the other matchup to watch is the Jets' offensive line has been atrocious. I mean, they might be the worst offensive line league. And once again, we're not trying to tear these guys down. I mean, all respect to these guys should make it into the league. But their play has been very inconsistent at best. And so I don't know if it's necessarily something to watch because their line has been so poor this whole season. But that's also one of the reasons why Zach Wilson is playing so bad as well. Is he knows he has no time. He's trying to get the ball out quick. And so it's a combination between their offensive line and their quarterback play. And so all that to say is we want to see this Chiefs defense continue their trajectory of being one of the top defenses because despite their quarterback play for the Jets, they still have some great players. They have Breece Hall, which might be one of the best running backs in the league. Right. Yeah. And not to mention they have Dalvin Cook as his backup. So another elite running back there. That's a great running back room. They got some great wide receivers out there still. Garrett Wilson, right? And so some of these guys that are elite players, even guys that came from Green Bay to play with Aaron Rodgers, who unfortunately he got hurt. And you know, we don't like seeing anybody get hurt early. We want to play against the best and see how we stack up. But
exactly.
Yeah, but as it is, we're playing against Zach Wilson as Aaron Rodgers is out for the season. So all that just to say that the Jets still have a lot of playmakers that could potentially make a huge run in this game. So we can't overlook them just simply because of what their record is or who is the quarterback.
And that's probably the most sad thing about this whole thing is that are we ever going to see Aaron Rodgers and Pat Mahomes matched up against each other?
Man, I don't know. Every time they play, one of them's out. So
one of them's out. I mean, so I guess we may never know who is the. I mean, we know Tom Brady's better than Pat Mahomes, right?
Well, you do, not me.
No, I know. I just joke. I mean, when Tom Brady has the record, right? He has the head-to-head.
He does have the head-to-head. He has the most Super Bowls, but But football is more of a team sport than any other sport.
Oh yeah, yeah,
right?
I know.
And
D Ford,
so,
I know. I'm with you, D Ford. I'm with you.
yeah.
I'm with you.
Oh man,
So I'm just saying, like I think that's like we've talked about it on the podcast before, where I think that's who Patrick Mahomes chasing, right?
Yeah,
We've seen where Burrow, man, it makes me so sad to see the Cincinnati Bengals and Burrow playing hurt with that calf strain.
yeah.
And then, Josh Allen was supposed to be the heir apparent. He's fallen flat. And then we had Lamar Jackson there for a while, and he can't stay healthy. And we thought maybe it was going to be Trevor Lawrence, but I don't know what's going on down there.
Yeah.
And
I don't know that Trevor Lawrence knows what's going on right now. So.
I do not. I am just kind of flabbergasted at the fact that this team was so good last year, and now they look like they don't even know who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and some of these teams, maybe they might figure it out. Maybe they just had their stumble game, kind of like the Chiefs did last year too. So, but yeah, to your point, some of these teams and these players we thought were going to be the competitor for Pat Mahomes is not there. Like even last year, every week it was, well, who's going to upset Mahomes? It's got to be Josh Allen. And then something would happen with his like, it's going to be Joe Burrow. And someone happened, it's going to be Lamar Jackson. Like every week it was, who is the comparable to Patrick Mahomes? And the only constant in that comparison was Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. The other person changed every week, which I think proves to you and proves to people around that Patrick Mahomes is the man right now. And
yes,
I don't think anybody's knocking him off anytime soon.
No.
Yeah. So another thing I want to mention too, or ask, is Kadarius Toney, right? He came out as supposedly going to be the number one wide receiver for the Chiefs this year. And so
I got your text message.
Oh, good. Well, because that's what I want to ask you then, right? So this is a guy who's supposed to be the number one guy, right? Supposedly going to be the man this year. And, he got a lot of targets in that first game. Didn't catch a lot. One perfect pass off his hands, end up at pick six the other way, right? And so, man, he made a little bit better effort in the second game.
Yeah.
But, in this last game against the Bears, one target for -1 yards. He caught it, just lost a yard on it, right? And so here's my question. Have the Chiefs lost faith in Toney?
No, I think what the Chiefs are doing and what they kind of did last year, what we saw with them do after losing Tyreek. Everyone thought the sky is falling. We're never going to be as good as we could ever be. And what they do, lead the league in offense, number one scoring team. And I think what it is, it's someone different. It's going to be someone different every week, right? Yeah. I don't think a lot of fantasy owners have Chiefs wide receivers because you just don't know what they're going to do. And so I think it's going to be someone different. So I think Toney could get a lot more targets maybe this week, or the next week. Who knows? I think it's just going to be variety. It seems like every game, the announcers saying, and Patrick Mahomes is thrown to 8 or 9 different wide receivers this game. And it's like, what in the world? I didn't even know we had that many guys on the roster. And here he's finding everybody.
Yeah. So I'll tell you who I think the dark horse is right now, or maybe the most underappreciated player on the Chiefs is Justin Watson.
Oh, yeah.
That guy,
yeah.
I'm not saying that he is the man or going to be the number one wide receiver, but he makes plays every game so far.
Yeah.
He's made a few big plays in every single one. And so I think
he's that constant, right? He's that guy you think you can count on. He's the best friend that will answer the phone at 1:00 in the morning when you need a ride or you need your car jumped. But I really see Rashid Rice is like, you see a connection with Mahomes, and Rashid Rice is really coming through. And so I think in the broadcast last week, where you saw Mahomes and Rashid Rice even talking on the sideline. And so I think that's a great sign. And so as a rookie, let's develop him and let's keep him for a few more years on his rookie deal.
Yeah. So quick question following up that, who is going to lead the Chiefs in receiving this year then?
Travis Kelce.
All right. Let me rephrase that. Which wide receiver is going to be the leading receiver among the wide receivers? So I would agree with you. Travis Kelce will be, but among the wide receivers, who will lead in receiving yards?
I think this is going to surprise you.
All right.
Sky Moore.
Sky Moore. All right. Just so you know, I'm writing it down here.
Oh man, I think it seems like he's been the most. I mean, I know he wasn't very consistent the first week or the first game, but I think he's been the most consistent out of all the other wide receivers thus far. I mean, MVS kind of sometimes I like the guy. I'm glad he's on there. He's a great deep threat, but I feel like he disappears at moments in the game. Like, is he even on the field? Sometimes.
Yeah.
And so, but Sky Moore is there, and I think he's always making a big catch, and so I think he may lead the team in receptions and yards this year.
Well, actually does not surprise me because when I thought about this, I was thinking, it might actually be Sky Moore. But since you picked him, I'm going to pick because it was between two guys anyways. And I was thinking, so since you picked Sky Moore, I'm going to pick Rashee Rice.
All right.
That last game, I saw a connection there between him and Mahomes, and Rashee Rice starting to figure out how to play like Mahomes likes him to, starting to figure out how to get open. And so, in fairness, is against the Bears who don't have a great defense, but it just seemed like there's something there.
There you go.
All right. So what's our key to the game? What do the Chiefs have to do to win this game?
Hold on to the ball.
There you go.
I think that's probably the biggest thing is don't let the Jets defense beat you. Because that's the only way. I mean, that's how they beat the Bills, right? When the Buffalo came into town that first game, I think Josh Allen had 4 turnovers by himself. So I think that's probably the biggest thing is don't let the Bills or Jets defense beat you. And so I think you'll be all right. Protect the ball. Hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
Don't throw interceptions, Pat. Just play the safe play. That's the key. That's my key.
No doubt. Those are all good things. And I think I would just add this too. I think the key to the game is going to be to slow down the running game. Because I think if you can force them to throw it, you're going to win.
Boom.
And I think Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook might be the best running back room in the league, honestly. Unfortunately, they're not running behind a great offensive line.
Yes.
And so that makes it a little bit harder. And teams, I think, know they have to run it because they don't have a great pass attack right now. And so if the Chiefs can stop the run, I think it'll be, and to your point too, and not, beat themselves.
Right.
I think it'll be a good game. So what's your score prediction here? Who's going to win by how much?
All right. Well, the Vegas has them, the Kansas City Chiefs favorite at 8.5.
Man, another big one.
Another big one. Not as big as the Bears.
At 12.5. So, but 8.5 still big.
It's big on the road. So this is a MetLife Stadium there, and so the over under is 41.5 points in the game.
All right.
So Vegas is pretty much undefeated. That's why they got big buildings out there, and so I think 41 points is pretty good. And so I think Jets will score 10 points. And I think you got Kansas City scoring at least, let's say, 34.
All right. Well, you're pretty close to what I have too here.
Yeah.
I have Jets 10, and I have Chiefs 38. I think they're going to keep that offense rolling. So
yes,
just a 4-point difference there, but between your score and my score, but still high scoring and still covering that spread by quite a few margins. So we'll see what happens.
But we have been nowhere close to picking the right score.
No, we have not. We have not. So we're bound to get close to one of these times. But hey, at least we're picking the winner, right? Even if our score is not right. So
that's right. The winner. That's what matters.
That's right. Yeah. Last week, neither one of us got close to the final score because you had a score of the final score. First off, against the Bears was 41-10.
Yeah.
Right. And so you had a score of 32-16 and I guess 30-13. So we were a little off. That's all right though. It's all right. So So last little segment for you here before we wrap up.
Right.
So 2 players, one plays for the Chiefs and one plays for the Jets. I'm going to give you their stats. And you are going to tell me which one you'd rather have. And if you can try to guess which one is the Chiefs player. And maybe who it is. So this is on the defensive side of the ball, some defensive backs. That's as close to the position as I'm going to give you. So somewhere in the
Right.
backfield. So player A, I'm going to label these so I don't accidentally tell you their name. So
Okay.
player A has a completion percentage against him of 57.1. Player
Okay.
2 or player B, 54.4% completion against
Okay.
him.
All right.
Yards per reception, player A, 9.9. Player B, 9.5. Touchdowns allowed, player A, 1. Player B, 3.
Okay.
Passer rating against when targeting this person on defense, player A, 68.1. Player B, 83.6. Yards after catch allowed on average per reception, player A, 3.9. Player B, 3.7. Pretty close there. Missed tackle percentage. So
Okay.
this bases in actual tackles versus missed tackles, how they get that percentage. So missed tackle percentage, player A, 10.3%. Player B, 7.7%. Interceptions, 2 for player A and 0 for player B. But forced fumbles, player A has 1 and player B has 3. And so these are stats from 2022 through the first 3 games of this season, as we don't have much to go on this season. So those are your stats, player A and player B.
Okay. So player A gave up how many touchdowns? 1.
Player A, yes, gave up 1 touchdown. Player B gave up 3.
Yep, 3. All right. So I want to say player B is Trent McDuffie.
Okay.
And player A is, I want to say Sauce, but I figured he had more interceptions than just 3. But maybe he only had 3. So Sauce Gardner is player A, and I think I would take player A.
You're correct on all accounts. Player A is Sauce Gardner. Player B is Trent McDuffie.
There you go.
Well done, my friend. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, that was. But I think the one touchdown you give up. I mean, I think this is big, right? And then I feel like they were pretty close. I mean, man, that was tough. But that shows you. I think that shows you Trent McDuffie. I think is the real deal.
Oh yeah, and I think he's getting a little bit more noise now, but he's not getting near the attention that he deserves. No. He is much better than people realize. And as we point out, and even last week's game, that guy was everywhere, all over the field, making tackles on the run, blitzing the quarterback, breaking up passes, just all over the field. So that's fun. Dale picked directly there between Sauce Gardner and Trent McDuffie. Nailed it exactly. So
man,
well done, my friend. Well done.
That should be. You should tweet that out because those two blind. Because I mean, like, I don't think people realize how good Trent McDuffie is. I mean, to compare, Sauce Gardner is has a buffalo sauce named after him at Buffalo Wild Wings, and so I mean. Trent McDuffie should get some duffel bags or something named after him or something.
There you go. I like it. Well, thanks for joining us in this episode of the Kingdom Corner. We'll see you next time right here in the Kingdom Corner.